Hi friends, welcome to episode 75 of the Quirky Monday Craftcast. My name is Kalisha and you can find me anywhere online as Nadira Tani. Thank you so much for coming to spend some time with me today. I do greatly appreciate it. Today is Friday, March 1st, and I'm coming to you from my home in Central Florida, where, as you can see, it's another bright sunny day. I would sit out in the sun, but it's hot. It's so hot right there. Yeah. So if you are a new viewer, welcome. This is my crafty little area online where I talk about my knitting, crocheting, sewing, weaving, general artsy fartsiness. If you're a returning viewer, you already know that. And thanks so much for coming back to spend some time with me. Announcements or announcement-y type things. The Pisces season make-along is going and so many of you guys are participating. It is just making me so excited. I'm following the hashtag on Instagram, which is Pisces season MAL, and just seeing like the projects you guys are doing and all of the like ocean colors that are like coming down in my thread, it's just making me really happy. So thank you guys so much for participating. It is going to go until the end of Pisces season, which is March 20th. So we've got 20 more days of making for this. Yes, there will be prizes. We actually got one of our prizes in the mail this week, and I am trying to link up with another person who is donating a prize the end of next week. So fingers crossed we're able to get together and won't have to send anything through the postal mail, because why spend money that you don't have to, right? As far as any other announcements, some genius subscriber here suggested last week when I was talking about doing a separate video for the positive moments. She suggested that I start a Ravelry thread for it because that makes sense. And I don't know why I always like have to do things, or I always think of doing things the hardest way possible. So I will be starting that Ravelry thread in our group. It is linked below. It's the Quirky Monday Craftcast Ravelry group. But I am still going to be having a segment of the video or of the podcast where I read off different positive moments, because I understand that everybody is not on Ravelry. So if you want to share positive moments with everybody and interact that way, there is a thread that will be linked down below. And I think I'm going to do it probably at the end of the video, where I share some positive moments from the last episode or the last few episodes, just to highlight people's good things. I think that's everything for announcements. So yeah, finished objects. I finished the skirts for the ladies who go to my church. Hooray. And they came out wonderfully. The skirt that I was making with the pockets worked out. I found some tutorial on Pinterest. Now, I don't know if it's just my luck with Pinterest tutorials, but I seem to find the ones that are like partial tutorials that just assume that you've done like all this other stuff first. Now, I was able to figure it out, but if you're like a brand new sewist and you're like, you know, I want to make a skirt with pockets on it, the tutorial I followed, not the one for you. But the pockets came out really great. My friend loved her skirt. All the skirts fit. The only thing that I would do differently in the future as far as putting pockets in a skirt, I would make the opening where you like put your hands through, I would make that a little bit bigger, because like she could get her hands in it, because her hands are smaller than mine, but it was just a little bit tight on my hands. And I feel like when you have pockets, you want to just like, you know, not have to search for them. So yeah, I did a video of her twirling around in the skirt, and I posted it on Instagram, and pretty much like 90% of the comments on that video were, oh my gosh, and it has pockets. So I have another video of Lamar, my husband, reacting to the comments on that first video. So I'm going to put both videos here so that you can see them. But yeah, so that was the first skirt. The second two skirts were the ones with the orange flowers. That was a mommy-daughter set, and they came out really, really nicely. So I'll put a picture of those in here. So those are my finished objects when I first wrote my show notes. And then, like, I was initially going to record this, I think, Tuesday. And then, you know, life happened and everything. And here we are on Friday. So I have more finished objects. I would like to mention my tutu skirt, like my tulle skirt, did not get finished for church, and it didn't get finished for my birthday, but that's completely okay. It's still hanging out on Jane the Dress Form. I'm figuring out what to do with it. I feel like the moment has passed for that skirt, so who knows? Good thing I got the tulle on like a huge sale. Anyway, other finished objects. Last week I mentioned in Maker Plans that I had that I was doing a test crochet for Crochet Land by Brittany. She has designed a pattern for like headbands, and they're kind of like headband ear warmer type deals. And I was testing the newborn and 0 to 3 month size. Yes, newborn and 0 to 3 month. And in her pattern, she has where you can work it in 2 different hook sizes. So I went ahead and did the newborn in both hook sizes and the 0 to 3 months in both hook sizes. And here they are. So we have, these are the 2 newborn ones. So just little headband, simple little headband. I like it this way, but I think what I'm gonna do with it is gather it like this, so it makes like a little bow. I'll gather this one. There you go. So it's gonna look like that. And then this one I'm gonna leave flat. And these are the newborn ones. And then these are the 0 to 3 months. I don't know why it's so hard for me to remember, but 0 to 3 months. So same pattern, just a little bit bigger. I used which way did it go? Okay, these two, this newborn and this 0 to 3 months are with the smaller hook size, and then these two are with the larger hook size. They were like, from one hook size to the other, they were pretty much the same, except for when I did this one. Like, these two compared to each other, this one is definitely bigger, but I think that's just like, this is kind of an older red heart, so it may have been just a little bit thicker, but it is what it is. So I think I'm going to gather this one and leave this one flat. So I'm gonna take pictures of these, you know, for the test crochet and everything. But I don't have any children of this age in my life. Like, none of my friends have like newborns. Nobody around me has newborns right now. So I was just like, what am I gonna do with these? At first I was like, well, I'll just crochet them up, take the pictures, and then frog it to get the yarn back. And then I was like, that's a complete waste of time. So then I thought, I work in a portrait studio. I'm just gonna leave these there. So then there will be some handmade crochet headbands for the little mommies to use on their newborns if they so desire. I guess that's the benefit of working in a portrait studio. Give them all the yarny things. So that is another, I guess, set of finished objects. Put those over there. Can you still see my message? Yes. This is a message which kind of goes along the lines of last week's message, which said, what did it say? I think I can. I believe I can. Something like that. But the reason that I have had these two messages on my board for last week and this week is because I got so many comments. This is a little digression. I got so many comments in reference to the weaving that I did, where people were like, oh, how did you learn to do that? You know, I don't think I could do something like that, blah, blah, blah. And like, the truth is, and I've said this to quite a few people, is I believe I can do a thing until I can't. Like, if you want to try to do like a weaving, right? And you can kind of break down the supplies that you would need or something like that. Like, you don't have to go and get all kinds of stuff or all kinds of equipment to do a thing, you know? Just try it. And even if you like do have to buy different supplies, like I tried, what was it? Punch embroidery, because I saw a kit when I was in Walmart and I was like, I think I can do that. And I made like one little punch embroidery thing and I realized I didn't really like it, didn't enjoy it at all. So I think it's important to try things. And the more things that you try, the more things you'll find out that you like. And then you'll be able to take those skills from those different things that you try and incorporate them into other areas of new things that you try. So just believe in yourself. I feel like that's I don't know, PBS Kids moment. Believe in yourself. Back to your regularly scheduled programming. My next finished object was, yes, I had it started last episode. Of course I had it started last episode. This is, oh, the sun is creeping in. There it is right there. Yep, it's getting closer, guys. This is my Just Feel Better shawl, the Pisces edition. Oh, it's blowing out the camera. Okay, it's the dark blue that's doing it. So let's hide that dark blue. Let's see if we can do it this way. There we go. We're just gonna hide the dark blue. Pretend like it's there. So this is my Just Feel Better shawl, the Pisces edition. I used 2 balls of Lion Brand Mandala in the Troll colorway. I couldn't remember what colorway it was last week. It's Troll. And in that colorway, it goes from the mint into the blues, and then it goes into a purple and then a neon pink. So I cut out the purple and the pink, and I was just left with like all of these awesome like oceany shades. And yeah, so this is everything that I cut out of those 2 balls of Troll. So I think I'm gonna make some sort of top with this. Don't know yet, but I've got a nice little gradient to play with. But yeah, so I just have to weave in the ends. I have the 2 ends, and then I think I wove in the join already. Yeah, I think I did. But where was it? When you saw it last, it was here with my little Manatee Progress Keeper. Oh, it's a bug. Go away. A Manatee Progress Keeper. I got this charm from some little roadside souvenir shop randomly in Florida. It was a little charm, and I just put a lobster claw on it so that I could use it as a progress keeper. To be honest, it's not progress keeper quality because it's heavy. I have it actually hooked to 3 stitches so that it doesn't pull my stitch out, like pull it long. But my next little clip or stitch marker that I have here is to mark where it was when I went out for my birthday. Wow, goodbye background, that's gone. So I took this with me when Lamar and I went out for my birthday. We spent the day in downtown Orlando, and it was great. And this was my walking project. And this is where it was when I started, like when I started the day. And I got all the way to like somewhere in this area by that night. Then I finished this Wednesday on my lunch break. And I don't know if you're going to be able to tell, but yeah, you can. So if you look, these stitches are much bigger than these stitches. And that's because I had an epic game of yarn chicken. Like, technically, I lost yarn chicken. Like, had I stayed with the same hook size, I wouldn't have gotten more than 3/4 of the way across the last row. So what I did was I ended up dropping down 2 hook sizes, and I randomly left out stitches. Like there's only 2 double crochets instead of the 3. So I did that randomly across, and I'm glad that I did because that's all I had left. So yeah, so I'm gonna go weave in those ends, and then this baby is done. And a lot of you guys who are participating in the Pisces season make along are making Just Feel Better shawls, and that just like makes me super happy because it's so cool to see something that you created being interpreted by other people. Like the different colors that you guys are choosing, like how big you are deciding to make it, you know, everything like that. It's exciting. So there she is. And this just makes me so happy. Just this color run. Yes. But it's too hot for that. Those are all of my finished objects. So we'll move into works in progress. And works in progress, I have two. So the first one is a hoe. I finished my first movie sock. It is super long, and this is how much yarn I had left. It's 8 grams. I weighed it. So I've cast on the second one, and instead of doing there's a little contrast in the beginning of the cuff and then it goes into the main color. Instead of doing that, I'm just going to do the whole thing in the main color and then only use the contrast for the heel. So that I can use up more of the yarn. This yarn is Patton's Croy Socks FX in the Calla Lily colorway and flax. So yeah, just a plain vanilla sock. Ta-da! I don't know where here it is. Let's say I don't know where the other one is, but I literally just have a little smidgen of a sock or a cuff cast on, but that's fine. I really like how this looks caked up. It's really nice. But yeah, so that's my half object and my first work in progress. The next work in progress I have is my second Kia sock, and the Kia sock is a pattern, or Kia socks. The Kia socks pattern is a pattern by Dawn.Landix, and she is Dawn Henderson on Ravelry. This is how far I have gotten into my second sock. I'm halfway into a row, but if you are new, this yarn is the Firestarter colorway by Queen's Yarn Boutique, and it is working up really nicely. So the Kia socks are a textured sock pattern. It's a very easy to memorize, and you're good to go. both. Do you want to come outside, Kiva? Huh? You want to come outside? Yes? A little bit? Okay. One moment. Don't sniff my tea. You can't have any. I just said don't sniff that. This is mine. This is for people. For people, not puppies. What was I saying before Kiva interrupted me? Kia socks. And they're living in a project bag that Claudia of Crochet Luna made for me. Thank you. So yes, that is my only other work in progress. So we do have, bless you, we do have some maker plans. The first is this yarn is going to be the, oh my gosh, Kiva, oh my gosh. Nobody wants to see the back of your head though. Like if you're gonna be up here, you gotta face that way so that people can see your cute face. Kiva said I don't gotta do nothing. Okay. This yarn, this is Impeccable in the Aran Tweed, and this is going to be the Raspberry Cabled Beanie by Noma Ndlovu, and I will link that pattern down below. It is a pattern on my Make 9, and yeah, so that's next up on maker plans. I do have another, my leg is red now from her standing on it. I do have another maker plan. It is going to be made from bees. Now this is Lion Brand Jeans yarn in the Stovepipe colorway. This is the yarn that I used to make my summertime tee that you guys saw last week. And I went ahead and bought the Lion Brand Jeans in the corduroy color. And I think I'm gonna make a hat out of this. Like I feel like this needs to be something on my head. And this is really soft. I really like it. So I've got some ideas a-bubbling. Also, I'm gonna need to make more hats because I have this mesh hat that I basically made in like every color that I wear all the time. And I put one on a couple days ago and I'm pretty sure my hair has outgrown that hat. So new hats are in order. So I gotta get on that. So those are my only two maker plans. A couple more hats, Raspberry Cable Beanie, some other type of hat that is gonna come out of Kalicia's head. Put these over here. I'm making a little pile. That's everything for maker plans, and that corduroy yarn will transition us into stash positions. So my birthday was last Sunday and it was a delightful day, and because it was my birthday I bought myself a couple things. So I bought myself two things, and like specifically for my birthday, and then I made myself a third. So first purchased item is Malabrigo Rios in the Reflecting Pool colorway, and Rios is their worsted weight. It's 100% pure 100% pure merino superwash, 100 grams to 210 yards. And that's what it looks like. It is showing up pretty true to color. It may be just a smidge more green in real life, but oh man, I just picked the same colors, don't I? This is gonna be a hat. I really like it. No, nothing different? Okay. And my other purchase is underneath all of the things. I bought, it's Amy Herzog's Ultimate Sweater Book, the essential guide for the adventurous knitter. That's not what it says. The essential guide for adventurous knitters. And basically this book breaks down all of the like basic sweater shapings, and like explains how you can create a sweater based on your measurements, how you do the different necklines and things like that. So I think that's going to be really good for me because I have like ideas that I want to bring into real life, like the Ryan Cable sweater, which has just been like marinating in the back of my mind for months. So hopefully this will help me to bring that out of my mind, off the paper with my notes, and into a real object. Also, can we talk about this lovely natural girl that they have in here? Look at her. Hey girl. Hey Afro. Hey. Yes. So that, I'm really excited about this purchase. And my last birthday item for myself is this bag. It is a Patchwork Project Bag that I made. This will not be in the shop. I am not going to be making these to sell. I am not a quilter, is what I'm trying to say. And the only reason that I decided to do this patchwork bag was because I found a whole bunch of space fabric scraps in one of my drawers, and instead of just throwing them away because they were like sizable fabrics, like sizable cuts, I decided to sew them all together and then make a bag out of that for myself. And like the zipper on it is like an old one that I found at the thrift store. The lining in it is like just pieced together scrap fabric. Yeah, but I like this size, so maybe this size will come to the shop. But as far as like patchwork project bags, probably not. So, and then look at this foolishness. This is what happens when you're sewing for yourself at like ungodly hours of the night. Just not gonna sew down the main fabric. We're just gonna leave that all willy-nilly. Okay, I'll just put some hot glue in there. It's fine. So those are my birthday goodies. And yeah, let's see. I did also receive a goodie in the mail a few months ago. Was it a few months ago? I feel like it was a few months ago. I don't know. I'm a terrible judge of time. Sometime toward the end of last year, I was able to meet up with Hannah from the Cozy Cottage Crochet, Clarizabeth of Crochet Cakes, and Caroline from Mind and Muse. And they were all going to be like in the Orlando area. So I went to meet up with them, and it was like so cool to meet these ladies in real life. And, you know, as crafters do, we exchanged goodies. And Caroline told me that she had made me a needle felted cupcake, but she left it at home. So she mailed it to me, and it came the other day. And this is so cool. Look at it. It's a little cupcake. And it's like, even the little indentations are like needle felted in there. Like at first I thought maybe they were like stitched, but no, like you can see the little stabby bits. So that's like really cool. That is really cool. So I have a little needle felted cupcake, and I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put like maybe, what's that called, Velcro on the bottom, and put it somewhere with my sewing stuff so I can use it as like a pin cushion. So thank you, Caroline. It made it safely. It's adorable. Now I kind of want cake. Side note, I didn't have any cake for my birthday. I need to fix that. Okay. So those are like my birthday goodies, and we're gonna count this as my birthday cake. But I did find some awesome things at the thrift store. One of them I'm sitting on. This is like a woven, I don't know, rattan floor pillow, and it's like really comfy. Definitely will be using it whenever I'm sitting outside, so just in case I sit on another anthill, they'll have farther to go before they get to my legs. I also found this and this in the Goodwill. Did I say this was from the Goodwill? Because this is also from the Goodwill. Now this is a scroll frame. It's supposed to be for cross stitch, needlepoint, crewel, and embroidery. So that's what it looks like, and that's how you're supposed to use it, right? Like, put your work on there and work your merry little way. But what I'm gonna do, because I do what I want, and because evidently I have been bitten by the weaving bug and it won't let go, I am going to use this as like a weaving loom, right? Like, okay, let me put it together and then you guys can see what I'm talking about. My idea is to set it up like this and then warp the frame this way, and then, you know, do my little weaving in there, and then I can slide it off like when I'm done, because you can take it apart like that and you can slide it off and then figure some way to do, I don't know, whatever past that. But I think this is going to be really cool to do small weavings, and then I can also do them long ways. So I can have short ones like this or long ones like this, and it's all like, you can take it all apart, so I won't have that panic that I had last time of how do I get this off of the frame. And this only cost me $3, which is pretty good for something that is like reusable craft wise. And it comes with all the pieces, like it has like the nuts and washers and all that putty together stuff in there. So yeah, I'm excited to try that out. And see, this is another thing, like how I was saying earlier, if you want to do something, like if you want to weave and you don't have access to weaving equipment, or you don't have the funds to buy an actual weaving loom, there are other things that you can use instead of like the actual equipment. Like I was watching this video by, oh, I forget her name. I'll put it at the bottom of the screen, and I'll link the video down below, because it was a basic weaving like intro video for beginners with Wendy. That's who it is. And she was saying how when she first started weaving, she was using the legs of her dining room table to make like her wall tapestry hangings. Where there's a will, there's a way. So yeah, so this is going to be a weaving project. I'm going to get this set up. I'm going to set this up today and play around with it so that you guys can see, you know, how that how my idea comes to reality. And then along the weaving lane thought process, I got this bag of yarn. Somebody in my local area like destashed everything. Like there were like 5 huge bags of yarn. Like, okay, probably like a standard pillowcase size. I'm exaggerating. They were not a standard pillowcase size. They were like this tall, but like this wide. And it was full of yarn. Most of it was that like ribbon yarn. So I didn't get those, but yet and still, there was still a lot of yarn at my Goodwill, which doesn't normally happen. So I got this one because of these down here. So I'll pull these out so that you can see. Now this one is Kepi Sparkle. One ball makes a hat from baby to adult small size. That's pretty cool. Oh, there's a pom-pom in there too. That's cute. So this is one of those yarns that's like all the different textures and stuff. I might use that and just like weave with just this one. But that's going to be fun to weave with. Then it had a big twist value, just a gray. Oh gosh. There is so much hair on this. That's disgusting. We're going to put you over to the side. You need to be quarantined. And then the reason that I wanted to, oh gosh. There's like a wig on here, a wig's worth of hair. Let me find a clean space to show you. So we've got this super loopy, crazy yarn in this navy blue. Yep, you're going over there. And this green. Okay, the green is much cleaner. And that's the green. And as soon as I saw this, I was like, well, obviously I have to do something for the Pisces season make-along with these textures. And then because my mind has been in the weaving zone recently, all I could like think about was like a mismatch of textures with the greens and the blues. A couple years ago, I crocheted this big blanket for one of my friends out of like all these different shades of blue because she's a teacher. I'm sorry, I can't. Oh Lord. She's a teacher and she was doing an underwater theme for her classroom. And so I crocheted her a blanket like with all these different textures on it. And so I kind of have that idea in my mind when I'm thinking about this next like weaving project that I do, because the sun weaving was pretty flat like all the way around. There was a little bit of texture but not really. But this next one I want to go like ham with the textures. Like I want it to be like you put it up on the wall and anybody walking by has to touch it. That's like where my mind is with that. So is that everything? Are those all of my goodies? Oh, I did want to show another thing. I forgot that quick. I forgot. The prize that I received in the mail for the Pisces season make along. This is a donation from Gage Hill Crafts, and I will put links to their Instagram and website down below. But they have donated this yarn for the Pisces season make along. This one is 100 Ravens. It is the Danu base in the Nimu. I don't know what this means. I'm gonna Google it. If you know what this means, comment down below. But I'm assuming that's the colorway name. This is a 1-ply superwash DK weight, 100% merino wool, 100 grams to 240 yards, and such awesome colors. Okay, so that's the first one. And the second one is the Knit Pig Stroll Sport base, and she dyed them. It says hand dyed with food coloring and love. So that's the colors there, and those are pretty right on. So yes, so we will have at least 2 winners for the Pisces season make along. These 2 will of course go into the prize drawing. I did open a finished objects thread, so if you want to post your finished objects over there, go ahead and do so. Yeah, what I think I'm gonna do, because it was kind of a shorter make along, I think I'm going to do a prize from the finished objects thread, a prize from the chatter thread, and a prize from Instagram. I think that's what we're gonna do. There you go. You heard it here, folks. So those are our first two prizes that are coming, that have come from our wonderful donators. Is that a word? Donator? Donator? Help me. Help me. So let's go into Black Fibers, Black Threads. So this week's artist for Black Fibers, Black Threads, her name is Shaniqua Brooks. And I heard about her from Grace at Babel's Traveling Yarn. On Grace's podcast, she was talking about different podcasts that she listens to. And she said she heard of Shenequa on this podcast called Weave, I think is what it was called. And the interesting thing about Shenequa's work is that in her weaving, she's a weaving artist. In her weaving, she incorporates synthetic hair. So like braiding hair or weaving hair, extensions, things like that. She incorporates those into her weaving pieces. And when Grace was saying this, I was like, wow, that sounds really cool. And then Grace goes on to talk about how she went and she was like following the hashtag Weave, which as soon as she said that, I laughed to myself because I was like, for someone who is outside of, or who does not think of the word weave in a cultural sense, you would say like, oh, I'm going to follow hashtag Weave and think weaving looms. But I hear hashtag Weave and I'm thinking, yes, weaving looms, but also hair extensions, braids, weaves, wigs, etc., right? So it was just really interesting for me to hear someone who is outside of the Black culture talk about a thing that is so like in the Black culture, or in Black culture. So one of the things that really made me feel nostalgic while I was listening to Grace talk about Shenequa's work was how she was saying how Shenequa, when she's doing these weaving projects or pieces, these art pieces really, and she's braiding in the hair or weaving in the hair or however she's incorporating that synthetic hair into her piece, how it reminds her of when she was younger and sitting and having her older sister braid her hair. And that just made me feel so nostalgic in the best way possible, because having your hair done and getting your hair done is it's a process. Like for most Black people, it's a process. You know, whenever you're going to you're going to the salon to get your hair done, you're going to be in there for a few hours. Partly because everybody's always talking and just like it's an experience, but also because it just takes a long time to do our hair. There's that. I can remember being younger and going to get my hair straightened, like when I was getting my hair permed and processed. I would be in there and, you know, they're washing your hair and then blow drying your hair and then, you know, all this, like all of the process, doing everything to get your hair done. And the whole time that you're there, as a child going there, I would sit and I would hear like the grown women talking, you know, and they're talking about relationships and life and family and all of these things, right? And then whenever I go to the hair salon now, like as an adult, it's still the same thing. You know, you still hear the women talking about their life experiences, and there's so much like wisdom and experience that's shared within that environment. And I feel like that is just so beautiful. And then also having my hair done at home, like as a child, there were so many things, like your mom, like sitting in front of my mom, and she's like doing whatever she's doing to my hair. And I remember like one of the one of the things, like the most vivid memories that I have of my mom doing my hair is like sitting in front of her, you're like sitting between her legs, and I would always like rest my, when I got big enough, rest my arms like on her legs, and she would be doing my hair. And a lot of times, you know, you have the TV on, right? So when she's doing the back, it's fine because the TV's in front of me. Then she would do the side, and the TV's to the side of me. So I would like start turning my head, and she would pull my head back sideways, and then I'd be like start turning my head again, and she like popped me in the head with the comb. And like, comment down below if you know what I'm talking about. But I also remember, you know, my mom washing my hair in the sink. I remember being small enough to lay on the counter and have my head in the sink, and she'd be washing my hair. And then when I got bigger, standing in front of the sink and having my head down in the sink that way, and my mom is washing my hair. And there's just so much togetherness and closeness that comes with doing your hair, getting your hair done. And whenever I think about the process of getting my hair done, it makes me smile, it makes me happy on the inside. Another concept, not necessarily a concept, but kind of an event that this brought to my mind are like braiding parties. And essentially a braiding party, or this is what we call it, a braiding party, is when you get together with a bunch of your friends with the purpose of taking down someone's braids. So the first time I ever heard of a braiding party was when I was in college, and my roommate, she had these long twists, like they went down to like here. Yeah, they were like almost waist length, and they were tiny. So, you know, of course it takes you hours to get them put in. Oh, the sun is getting closer. It takes you hours to put them in, but it also takes you hours to take them out. So to make it go faster, you get a bunch of your friends, everybody sits around the braidie and like unbraids sections of their hair. And you know, it's the same kind of environment as like the hair salon, where you're sitting around, you like maybe have a movie going, you're talking about what's going on, you're talking about your classes, your relationships, like just what's going on in your life. And it just fosters this beautiful sense of community. And it's so crazy to think that braiding hair or unbraiding hair or washing hair can do that, but it does. So when I saw Shaniqua's work, there were so many pieces that just made me smile, like as a Black person. She has this one piece, and I'll put in a picture of it, where it's like a wall hanging. It's all woven and everything, but on the end, the hair is rolled in these foam rollers. And I remember having my hair curled with those foam rollers. She has another piece where the hair is braided, like cornrowed, like two big cornrows in the middle, and then, you know, braided down. And I remember having my hair braided that way. And just so many of her pieces just felt like I identified with them so much because of my lived experience, right? And I think it's just amazing that she decided to do that. So I'm going to put up some more of her work. I'm going to link her website down below. I had a hard time finding any current, like recent activity from her. I think the work that I had found was like 3 to 5 years old at this point. So I also couldn't find a link for her on Instagram or anything. I found an old link for her on Instagram, but it's not active anymore. So I hope that she is still creating in some way. But yes, I definitely encourage you to take a look at her gallery, take a look at her work, read about her. Like, she studied a traditional weaving method. I want to say it was in Ghana. And then, so she was able to blend that technique with like her skills as a weaver, also bringing in the like modern black culture, the modern American black culture of braiding hair and things like that. And it's a perfect storm of awesome. So definitely check out Shaniqua Brooks. Links will be down below. And that is everything for Black Fibers, Black Threads. And that's pretty much everything for the whole podcast, if I'm honest. That's not for you. That is not for puppies. You don't know how to knit nor crochet. You don't have thumbs. Oh, I'm sorry. I said you don't have thumbs, and she stopped wagging her tail. Kiva is sad because she does not have thumbs. It's okay. Thank you so much for being here with me. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for subscribing. Sidebar, if you like my shirt, it says make your own luck. And look, the little, can you see? The little bunny is crocheting. Yay! This is from Tea Turtle. And I'll link them down below. They have a ton, like a ton of crafty t-shirts. And the prices are really, really reasonable. And I love them. I have another one coming in that hopefully it'll get here by the time I go to film next week's episode. And I think that one's going to make you guys laugh. So yeah, that's all from me. Leave a comment down below of something positive that happened to you today or this week or whenever. If you want, you can also go over to the Ravelry group and leave a positive experience over there, so that we can have like a running thread of positivity. I like the sounds of that. Thank you so much for being a part of my universe, and you have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Bye guys.